That Monday hit and my sales just started going crazy. Wednesday hit and it was like a $4,000 sales day or something like that.
That's Aaron, a regular guy who in 58 days created a t-shirt brand using print on demand and crossed that elusive figure of $10,000. Just 12 days later, he hit $30,000. A wild story from someone who took a leap of faith, jumped on a call with my brother, and then joined the print on demand hub and followed it down to a T. And he's here today to tell us exactly how he did it, why he succeeded when so many others fail, and what his exact steps were to creating a super successful store in less than 90 days.
We don't fail if we never give up because the business plan is right there. Just keep trying.
Over time, Aaron has set up 3 different brands. The first 2 failed for various reasons, and we don't really like using that word, but we're going to get into it in this video. And the third brand is where he struck gold. And in this video, he's going to walk us exactly through the strategy that he went through in order to achieve this kind of success.
The concepts and design are number 1. I would think they are 90% of it. The marketing, wow. 10%, that's just the key. That's just opening the door. That's just opening the door. If you open the door and there's nothing in the store, then it doesn't matter. Or if there's only bad things in the store, then it doesn't matter.
Let's get into it. Aaron, tell me, you're onto your 3rd store now, and this is mind-blowing, and you've really shown that you don't always get success the first time around. So tell me what happened, and not just that, but when you don't get success, you shouldn't give up. So tell me what actually happened with the first 2 brands for you to then, move on to this eventual 3rd one.
Right. Well, basically the first 2 brands, I don't want to say failed, but they did not become the brand that I was going to stick on. They did not succeed. Mainly because I couldn't get out of my own way and just follow the course training in the hub. If I had a one sentence answer for that, that's what it would be. There were little things about each of the first 2 brands that I might have skipped over, or since I came into the first one with already 200 designs, I definitely skipped over most of the course and just jumped straight to ads, ignoring a lot of the other stuff that should have been red flags for me. And with the second one, the main thing that I avoided, although I built it exactly as you kind of outlined in the course, the main thing I avoided was niche validation, and it turned out my niche was too small, didn't have the spending power to grow in the way that my goals needed. So that's when I decided to move on.
Nice. Okay, fine. So you definitely, it sounds like you definitely gave them a good shot. Mm-hmm. You even spent some money on both of them.
Yeah.
But you didn't let it, at no point were you like, oh, screw it, this just isn't working, I'm going to just stop. Okay, so what was your motivation? What was your why for persevering and wanting to continue this print on demand brand?
Mm-hmm. Well, so yeah, I'd been working in tech. I'd been a UX designer for 12 years and in design well before that. And I actually tried to get back into the game. So my first child, the first baby, was born in December 2019. And then the second in 2023. And when the first was born, my wife had just gotten her MBA in 2015. So she was, we were pushing her trajectory, her career trajectory. And I was like, you know what? You're the one who got the MBA. I will be the flex parent, especially during the initial COVID times, which is when the baby was born right before. I'll be the flex schedule parent. I'll do what I can with the art biz. I'll do all this kind of stuff. And we've been doing that ever since. And then this year, we're like, the money's not coming in as fast as daycare bills are adding up. In the United States, they're more than a mortgage, and more than college. So I tried to get back into the game. I tried to get back into office life, UX design. And I had a few bites, a few leads here and there, a few recommendations, but nothing panned out. And if anybody watching this who is working in tech, you know that they're people in your life might give you advice, like, oh, go find a secure profession. that was secure. But then, all these layoffs happening and all this kind of stuff and these huge companies, finding that job was just not going to happen this year. So I am so happy. Like when I discovered yours and Chris, who was also in the hub, videos and YouTube videos, I was like, wait, is there an actual business plan to this thing that I've been struggling at for the past several years, which I have been doing, trying t-shirt design in different angles since 2022. And so that's kind of what got me into, first of all, looking into the hub, but just realizing that there's a business plan. And you guys, the way that you present your videos, Shimmy, are just like so straightforward, transparent and honest. I was like, I'll at least give them an interview to see what this hub is about, because I was super skeptical about everything.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So what would you say your why is? Like, what's your driving force for making this work?
Okay, well, yeah, so I did mention that couldn't get that job, but why did I need this to work? Well, it's not the most, it comes from the heart. It's my kids. My kids is my why. My family is my why. Wanting to give them the best chance at growing up happy, healthy, and into old age. And right now in the United States, that is not it, in my opinion. Lots of dangers for kids, and we have a little girl as well. So my why is to get them to a country that values their lives and has, affordable health care and college, and their schools are safe, and transportation is nice, and a place that has more trains. My kid loves trains, so we're going to get to a place with more trains. So that's my why. That's why print on demand. That's why t-shirt brand. So I can work from anywhere and anywhere in the world and get a digital nomad visa in one of these countries that are on our top list.
Nice. Okay, cool. And would you say that having this why helped you through those first two store, and again, we're not going to call them failures, but those first two stores that didn't necessarily work out as you hoped? And would you recommend everyone finds their why, rather than just blindly go into the business without any real driving force?
I think somebody without a major driving force can get it done. I do know that a major driving force really, really, really helps. I'll just share this aside. So there's this basketball player, Giannis Antetokounmpo, on the Milwaukee Bucks. And in the beginning of the season, they started off terribly. And the reporters are asking them, they started off 2-8. And they were champions a couple of years ago. They said, Giannis, after this start, why do you keep having hope? Why do you keep pushing forward like you're going to win? And he says, and this is what I internalize, it's you have to. You have no choice. You have to have hope, and you have to keep pushing. So when it comes to the goals for my kids, when it comes to the goals for my family and getting out of here, those first two store failures were nothing. It's like I saw in that very first month where I was on track for a $10,000 month too with that first store. I knew that the business model was proven, and I knew that if I just did things the right way and kept pushing, the goal was already a foregone conclusion for me. This entire time, the goal of getting out of here and doing this is a foregone conclusion, because I know that I can do it. I have my why, and I just keep pushing forward no matter what, because I have no choice. It's just is what it is.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's amazing because I feel like I've seen the whole journey, and yeah, it's really inspirational. So let me ask, before you actually joined the community, what experience did you have with print on demand? Had you done it on other platforms? Had you, besides the first brand that you created 200 designs for and
Right.
started with that, was there anything else?
Yeah. So I've been a Comic Con and anime show and Artist Alley artist for years.
Cool.
I uploaded my first fan art, so all that stuff is fan art. Don't recommend fan art for going into print to owning your own Shopify shop, by the way, y'all. But that first, my art brand was mainly fan art, and at the time, I think I uploaded my first one to Redbubble in 2017, and those were okay for a while. It was a little bit more Wild West back then, even on Redbubble and TeePublic. But I still have some top sellers like that are just IP free, different cityscapes and all this kind of stuff. So I've been uploading to those sites. I also do T Fury and a couple of other daily T-shirt sites. I've really approached this from all different angles, like I said, before this business model finally stuck.
Okay, so it's not like this is the first time you tried it. So you have a little bit of experience, which
Yeah.
definitely helps. I mean, it's not necessary per se, but like it definitely helps. So
Oh, I
then
will
you,
say, Shimi, for someone like me coming to this, the experience in this space definitely helped me ramp up. So I don't want to like create crazy expectations for anybody else getting into this.
mm,
We all come with our own life experience, career experience, and skill sets, and um, you know, I was just able to apply mine in this particular way.
yeah, for sure. The fact that you had the UX UI design and all this background for sure helped. But I don't want you to overlook the mindset that you had as well, where regardless of the skills that you had an incredibly strong mindset and a will to succeed with this, and absolutely like at any cost possible.
Mhm.
And I think that is a true differentiator between various people, those that succeed with this, those that don't succeed with this. What I tend to find is them the mindset they have about working, about the effort they're going to put in, it really shows through. Um, so yeah, and this leads perfectly on to I was going to say you watch some of my content, I assume,
Mhm.
mine and Chris's for that matter. You joined the free community. You then took a discovery call with
Right.
Josh.
hmm
So how was that? Like, I feel like you were quite skeptical going into that call. What was holding you back? Like, talk to me through that discovery call.
Well, just because of the amount of struggle that I had gone through with t-shirt design and nothing was panning out, and there's so many charlatans on YouTube. Watching yours and Chris's videos, the previous month I had been kind of piecing together different aspects of the business model that you guys alluded to in the videos. And I think this was before your 8 hour video. This was before Chris's 21-hour video. And so I was really scouring the internet for all this kind of stuff. And then I'm like, I already don't have money coming in on this kind of stuff aside from like snack money from Redbubble. I don't have much money coming in from this stuff. Do I really want to pay $99 for this? Like, what more can I get out of that I can't just find myself? And then I took the call with Josh, and he was great. And then he's like, "Do you want to see a little like preview of what the hub looks like and kind of the course material?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess." And then he showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is exactly everything that I'd been looking for in order, immaculately produced, step by step detail about how to do everything that I ever would need to do in this business." And it was like, yes, $99. I'll write you a check. I'll order a checkbook and write you a check today. But yeah,
So that just removed any doubts that you had then.
just seeing the quality of the course material and how it
Mm.
was organized, and I was like, yeah, it's what I was looking for. So that crushed all skepticism right away. And I was like,
Wow.
I'm in. I'm in.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's good to know. It's good to know Josh is doing a good job
Yeah.
then.
Yep. Definitely.
You can never be too sure. No, I like that. I like that. Okay, so since joining then, because
Mhm.
you've been in the community since I think June, maybe
July, I think. Yeah, July.
July, yeah, June, July.
hmm
So since joining, what have you done differently with your print on demand brand? Um, because like I said, you've got three. The first one was the one that you started before you even joined.
Right.
But what have you done differently to make this third one actually click?
To make this third one click, um, I mentioned it literally getting out of my own way, getting over my ego, getting over um, preconceptions of what I think I need to do, and just follow the course material as meticulously as possible. There's going to be things that change along the way, but that's based on course recommendations too, like competitor research and
Mm.
pulling things that are industry norms into yours. So, but the second one I mentioned that I skipped the niche validation process. This time I went all in. I found that there were 10 plus stores in my niche. And the course material tells us, hey, if you can find that many, that means there is enough room for you to
Mm.
support your store the way you want to grow. And that was the final piece that I needed because my second store, it did get sales. I did 137 designs in it. Um, but yeah, I realized because I skipped that niche validation step, I just went with my heart on that one because it was a niche. It was Mexican stuff. So my family were Mexican American. And I was like, I want to make stuff celebrating Mexican American culture in particular. It's a very narrow niche. Um, and there were only two shops in it, maybe. And all their designs, they were just cannibalizing each other's. So I was like, no, if I had done the niche validation step, I would have seen that as a gigantic red flag. So,
Yeah.
um,
It's funny because I've spoken about this in the past where there's the element of you should really like what you're going to go into, the niche you're going to go into, because you
mhm,
spend a lot of time on it, like fixating on different designs, all that kind of stuff. If
yeah.
you don't like it, you're going to very quickly hate the business. And then there's also the element of the data. So, and then we did like this chart where like you've got to find a balance of liking it and good data, because if you love it and there's bad data, won't work. If there's great data and you hate it, it will work to a point until you're just like, the money's not worth it, don't want to do this. So you've kind of got to like find a niche where there's a middle ground, which
Hmm.
is what you've done with your latest one, for sure.
Yeah. So,
And-
yeah, my latest one is I went back to gaming, but not in a copyright way.
yeah.
My very first one was taking all of my fan art that I would sell in Artist Alley and whack it on a POD t-shirt. No, 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 don't do that. But the second one, I'm back into gaming, which I love. The niche is validated. It's huge. So that goes a long way for
Yeah,
sure.
I would actually say, like, before doing research myself, it sounds like a hard niche because of the amount of IP stuff that would be in this niche.
Hmm.
And when you originally told me that you were going for this niche, I was a little bit worried because I was like, oh no, this is his third store, and like, if this doesn't work,
Uh-huh.
this is a big deal. But I mean, you knocked it out of the park. You turn around with designs that people loved, that
Hmm.
weren't infringing on any IPs,
No.
and it's amazing. So, well, this is going to be interesting. So, your last store took around 70 days to hit the 30K mark, which is absolutely wild. And it was around 55, 58, 55, 60 days to hit the 10K mark. So it definitely sped up.
Yeah.
What allowed you as an artist with so much background, so much like not just background, but like you're a hardcore artist. So what allowed you to break through the artist ego that I've felt, a lot of us have felt, and
Hmm.
actually start designing pre-made licensable stuff? Because for me, that has happened. I've been designing since I could pick up a pencil,
Hmm.
and I always drew my designs. I always created these designs, and there some worked, but a lot didn't, and there was a lot of struggle until I just got over it. And getting
Hmm.
over it allowed me to literally go from one design an hour to 10 designs an hour, and more designs of good quality would still allow will allow you to find more winners. So what was it for you that just allowed you to break through the artist ego?
My why. Exactly. Just my goal, my why. Um, Learning that the top shops in in the t-shirt biz produce 5 to 7 new designs a day. I'm only one person. What can I do?
Mm.
Um, and understanding it seemed like from August to October, it seemed like there was a new mental hurdle within me that I needed to overcome. Whether it was facing this looming feeling that I needed to close down that second shop because of the reasons we talked about, whether it was getting over the notion that I held like this is my work and I want them to come to me for my work. They're still part of that, but getting over the notion that I needed to create everything myself in order to be this. But there's a huge difference between when I was doing Artist Alley at Comic Cons. That stuff I produced because I loved it. I produced it because I loved it. It was a bonus that people loved it. I never chased, I don't want to say trends because I don't chase trends right now, but I wouldn't chase like the hot new show, the hot new video game. I would do some old stuff that was part of formative for me, and then if people liked it, yeah. So that's the feeling that I had as an artist at my art booth, but I don't run an art booth anymore. My face is not attached to this. My name is not attached to this. I run a business. If I had a grocery store, would I kick myself for not not baking every cookie in it, for not making every candy in it? No.
Yeah,
These
for
are
growing all the fruit and veg and like in the back of the store. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I am an avid gardener, 700-foot front lawn garden, so I could
Wow.
do that. I could handle that section. Um, Put me in there, Farmer Aaron. But what got me over that hump was my why, my goals, and the understanding that I'm a business owner. I don't need to make anything, just like a grocery shop wouldn't. You wouldn't. Oh, did you make this? Oh, then I don't want it. That all went out the window. So then I looked at my designs, whether I made them, whether I licensed them from a site like Creative Fabrica, just as business assets. Do they sell? Great. Let's keep getting more. So that completely switched at one of those weeks in October.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, because for us, it was a game changer. I mean, our top selling design is a design from Creative Fabrica. And we didn't need to do this, but we changed, there was an element of it that was like yellow. We changed it to white, more because it looked better, not because we needed to.
Totally.
And it's our top selling design. And people are just like, well, I can't use this, I can't use that. And I'm like, but why not? We've sold thousands and thousands and thousands of them. And it took us all of 35, 40 seconds to finalize.
Yeah.
And it's a massive eye opener when you can just put your, like you said, your own ego aside and just realize you're running a business here. It's very normal. Think of yourself as more of like a department store where you're going to be bringing in from things from different brands, except the brands are like different websites where you're getting designs from, rather than you have to manually draw everything out. Yeah, it's a real eye opener. So I'd say if you could say making this work, making this print on demand, this brand, this business work was down to 3 key elements, what are the 3 things that come to your mind?
At a top level, I guess we kind of touched on it. I mean, the why. The why is what pushes you forward through everything. The why, as I referenced that quote, is the reason that you don't have a choice to give up. If you have your really solid why, many of us do, then success is guaranteed. It came up a quote in the hub the other day. It was like, the cool thing about all this is like, we don't fail if we never give up, because the business plan is right there. Just keep trying. Number 2 would be getting over your own mental barriers and getting over your ego. Trusting, along with getting over your mental barriers, is trusting that feeling that's building up inside, because it's there for a reason. And the reason we don't want to change it is because it's difficult. I put so much heart into that second one. I put years of work into that first one. And each time I needed to shut it down was a huge, like, mental hurdle for myself, and like an emotional hurdle too. So break through these barriers, trust yourself, because we kind of know the right decision on most things that we do in life. And finally, seeing the goal and believing in it, and kind of, I don't know if there's any way to force yourself to do this, but you hear champion athletes talk about it all the time. Seeing the goal as already existing, as already finalized.
Accomplished, yeah.
It's already accomplished. Like, I know it's already there. I know the mountain is right there in front of me. I just got to walk these steps to get it. And it's just, in my mind, it's just such a matter of fact, and it has been since July. So
Wow.
that's why none of these roadblocks or anything have ever made me like step back and oh maybe this isn't it. No, it's it's real already for me. So
Wow.
it's locked
So
in.
that I'd say those are three pretty strong mindset
Hmm.
um, uh, uh, like changes or mindset beliefs for making this business work. But now if I'll follow up with another one
Sure.
of not I would say not three mindsets, but three things specific to print on demand
Okay.
that you feel make like make the biggest dent in this business. Like three things you would do, whether it's I don't know for me. Well, I don't want to say for me because then it will skew
Sure. Sure. Sure.
the
Sure.
results of what you want to say.
Okay. Three things that I would do. I would join the hub. That'd be my number one. No, I know. It sounds like I'm joking, but I have recommended this to artists and designer friends, and some people have not exactly joined the hub, but tried the ads. I have one friend who recently joined. Um, yeah, I would say join the hub is number one, but number two, uh, just I guess these are all gonna just relate to the hub shimmy. So
Well, as in, well, hang on before you just promote the hub a lot because that wasn't that wasn't the goal. I mean, I love it; it's great. I don't get me wrong, but I meant more stuff along the lines of like three key things that come to my mind would be something like creating designs
mhm.
and understanding what a good design is. Not
Okay,
necessarily need to be a good designer, but understanding what a good design is and just
okay,
creating more. Because a lot of people will say to me, "I'm not getting any sales, and I've created the 10 best designs." I'm like, "Okay,
I see.
create 100 more," and then they're like, "Well." Or for example, like someone might say, "Well, I've spent like 3 months optimizing my store and I haven't got any sales." I'm like,
Got it.
"Okay, have you done any ads?" No, I've optimized my store. Why is no one coming?
Hmm.
So what, like, that's what I mean. Like when I say like three things that you do either on a
Hmm.
day-to-day or week-to-week basis where you feel are the biggest drivers for making this work.
Sure. Um, well, you're right. It is more designs, and on top of that, it's more ideas and concepts. When we are doing our niche research and our design research, we're seeing what top designs are out there, what kind of the zeitgeist is going around. Um, you don't need to chase trends, but it is good to understand, you know, not only what is popular, but why it's popular. So I like to really focus on ideas, just like designs. The more ideas that you have, the more good ideas that you're going to have. The more designs that you have, the more good designs you're going to have. And that's just a volume thing, but it's also a skill thing. Which way is my skill chart going up there? So yeah, as you first work with both ideas and designs, you kind of get warmed up, and then you get really in tune with like what's funny about a certain niche, what people are joking about, what memes there are, and then you kind
Mm.
of lean into that with your concepts and your designs. And as you design more, and as your concepts you create more concepts, both of those will drastically improve. And then, as far as a print-on-demand shop goes, you might have that one winner. Like you mentioned, your one winner, and I've definitely got one main traffic driver and seller. But they might come to your page, they might come to your door based on that. But they're going to also expect 100 other fantastic designs and concepts just like it. And if you've been putting in the work generating amazing concepts and executing them well, then they're going to fill up their basket with a whole bunch of these t-shirts. So I think putting in the time for concepts and putting in the time for design is the main driver.
Okay, that makes sense. That does make sense. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Okay, so tell me your mindset towards print on demand and 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 the concept of building a brand. Because a lot of people who actually come into the hub don't yet quite understand the concept of building a brand. They're still very much stuck on the print on demand side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So, how has your mindset towards print on demand and building a brand changed since joining the hub?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Before joining the hub and before thinking about just sticking on one niche. I, like most other people in print on demand, are chasing trends, and I've been a winner, a top, dominated a trend. I've done that several times in the past couple of years. The Orca whales one is one particular one that I'm proud of. Sinking yachts. So hello, can we focus camera, please? I don't know. There we go. But before then, it was just like whatever thought popped in my head, whatever thing was trending that day, and that's fine. But you're not going to build a brand off that in the way that we think, where people who like this one niche will come to my shop. No, it's like people who are Googling whatever will land on my Redbubble page, and that's not the way to go. If you want to truly build something that you can provide for your family for, set yourself up for life for, since moving to this mindset of brand building, yeah, I'm glad that I really enjoy the niche that I'm in, because I can have fun, I can design 1,000 things and laugh along the way and share it with my friends, and they'll laugh along the way. Do I still want to chase some trends? Sure, sometimes, but I've actually stopped completely uploading to daily t-shirt sites. I've stopped doing any of that stuff because it's like, where's the time? I'd rather put all my time right into this, because I can see, just like planting a little seed, I can see it growing, and I'm like, I don't need to split my time chasing trends or doing the weird, funny thing. I can do weird, funny stuff in my own niche, and that's perfectly fine, and people will probably buy it. So that's been the biggest change, just being laser focused on this niche instead of chasing trends and just designing whatever pops into my head. It's much more thoughtful and scientific, it feels.
Yeah, I think yeah, I like that. Having a lot of focus. A lot of people say to me, I'm going to do this Shopify, I'm going to build a brand, but I also want to continue Redbubble, Etsy, Amazon, TeePublic. And I'm like, look, you can do all of these things. That's absolutely no problem. But if you can spend, all that time on one of them and excel, what would you prefer? And they always like, oh, of course, I want to excel. And I'm like, well, then there you go. Pick the best platform, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be Shopify for you. It just so happens that Shopify allows you to build a brand. And as you say, set yourself up for life, set your family up, and actually build a business where you just can't really do that on other platforms. But yeah, that's interesting. I like that. I like that you being in the hub has shifted your mindset a little bit in that perspective, in that way, because I think that's one of the biggest mindset shifts. If you can do that mindset shift and just give it your all, you're going to make it work. And that's the thing, anything you give your all to, you will make it work. It just so happens that you've given your all to this, and that's brilliant. So talking about giving it your all, what was it like hitting 10 grand in 58 days, which is mind-blowing? And then not only that, where are you up to now? Because I know it's been a bit more than 58 days, probably been like 70, 80 days now. So
Yeah.
how was that, and where are you up to?
Okay. It was awesome. It was awesome. I was like, so for anybody watching this in the future, hello from the past. I ramped up my store and got it functional and got sales here and there. I had my goal when I launched this brand new store. I ramped it to my 100 designs. I did all my testing, blah, blah, blah. And I got it functional and taking a sale or two here and there in the days leading up to Thanksgiving week here in the States. So that's the week of Black Friday, right? And then, so I made sure all my parts were moving right. Everything was spelled right. And then that Monday hit and my sales just started going crazy. And that Wednesday hit and it was like a $4,000 sales day or something like that. And I was like, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, that's not a typical shopping day, but who knows? Maybe it is for my niche. And then, yeah, that the following Monday, which we call Cyber Monday, which is a totally anachronistic term. I love it. It doesn't make any sense. Everything is online these days. What's cyber about it? Cyber itself is a funny word these days. It doesn't mean anything. That Monday hit, and then I took out my phone. I told my wife, I was like, look, it actually hit 10,000 in gross sales. And yeah, we went out, got some food, got a bottle of bubbly, and it was like, it's real. And then she finally believed it's real because I saw it was real since July, but she finally believed it was real, and she started looking for houses in Portugal.
Nice.
So yeah, and then 5 days later, after that Cyber Monday, so 5 days later, we're still in our prime holiday shopping season in the United States. The shop hit 20,000 in sales.
Mad.
And then here we are just a few days later from that, and last night had another $3,000 day. Yesterday was the final day that, our print on demand producer, Printify I use, would recommend taking sales and running ads. Had a $3,000 day and hit 30,000 in the store with, if I can share, I think a $3,800 profit for the month of December so far, and we're 11 days in, and this is my brand new store. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
It's crazy. Like I have to say, these results aren't typical. You, A, have come into this at a good time. B, have created good designs, of course, and C, this is not your first store. So, I mean, I always like to try and be as brutally honest as possible on my channel, and I don't want anyone to think coming into it you're going to be achieving this. I mean, I would love to see how this goes in like December, January, February onwards, and I have no doubt it's going to be absolutely massive for you. Absolutely no doubt at all. But I am absolutely blown away by literally it's kind of like a domino effect in the same way with YouTube, where when I hit 10,000 subscribers, that took me years and years and years and years and years. But then to hit 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, we're talking weeks, months, like something like that. And the fact that it took you a good chunk of time, well, not even a good chunk of time, a little bit of time to hit the 10, but then literally 5 days to hit the 20, and then a couple of days to hit the 30. It's wild, and it's more than validated your niche. And I would say, I mean, the niche of gaming isn't particularly Christmassy or Black Friday ish. You know, it's not seasonal at all. It's in fact incredibly evergreen. You will have people gaming all throughout the year, no matter when it is. So that's why I have absolutely zero doubt that your store will completely crush it moving forward as well. Like, there's no reason why you have to rely on these big events of the year.
Yeah. Oh, can I share something? You asked about like print on demand success, and I just thought of something.
Go
Can
for
I,
it.
can I share? Okay. So it's something that I realized jumping from my second store to my third. So the second store was Mexican niche, Mexican culture. The third store, gaming niche, geeky stuff. I think a major difference between the two, and if for anybody who's trying to discover a niche for themselves to go forward with, the difference between the two is with a hobby, an addictive hobby like gaming is, you think of like just people collect games, people collect headsets, people collect little mini figurines, people collect dice. When they're at their 9 to 5, if they just ordered something, they're thinking about that thing all day long. They're like, I can't wait to go home and play this game. I can't wait to go home and paint this minifigure. I can't wait to go home and read this new rules codex. We don't think about our culture that way. Our culture brings us a lot of joy and a lot of pride and a lot of warmth, but we don't obsess over it sitting at our 9 to 5. So with this whole Facebook ads thing, it's a very much impulse buy kind of purchase for people. They're just browsing through. Oh, that's cool. Got it. If somebody's already thinking of this hobby, they're already primed to make that purchase in the Halo area of it, everything about it. So when you're thinking of your niche, I personally would recommend finding a hobby that people are like just straight up obsessed with. And that'll set you off on a good foot. And as you mentioned, it's evergreen. It's not seasonal. It's something that they're always thinking about because these companies are always making new stuff. These games are always making new stuff, and there's always new, and we can get right in that current with it.
Yeah, that's really true. I mean, I've done a fair share of niches, and it's very clear when an audience is like diehard fans versus, oh, okay, I like that. Like, both can get sales. As you said, you got sales in your Mexican niche as well. Both can get sales, but it's it's the difference between getting sales and like getting tons of sales. And yeah, you happen to be in a niche that's not only like there's just so many products around it. It's also like if you think of the Big Bang Theory, right? For geeky individuals who play all these games, do all these things, every single episode they are
Yeah,
wearing another type of print-on-demand T-shirt.
they were.
And it's what you, the audience, it's what your audience wears, it's what they knows, it's what they're used to. So yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. So going on designs here, because we're talking about how important designs are a little bit. If you could chalk it down to a percentage of what the biggest driver of sales is, designs versus marketing, like 10% to 90%, 50 to 50, like what percentage would you give each of those two things? Just so everyone watching, because I know a lot of people watching are madly worried about the marketing and they're like, my designs are absolutely perfect. It's just I don't know how to market. And I am forever trying to say the marketing, well, in my opinion anyway, I always try to say the marketing is like static. The designs are the thing that's constantly changing and being and like adapting. So what's your take on that, considering you've had quite a lot of success now with this? What's your take on the percentage?
The concepts and design are number one. I would think they are 90% of it. The
Wow.
marketing, 10%, that's just the key. That's just opening the door. That's just opening the door. If you open the door and there's nothing in the store, then it doesn't matter. Or if there's only bad things in the store, then it doesn't matter. So, marketing, what I like about this is, I mentioned before, it feels more scientific than when I was trying to grow organically and stuff like that. And that's why I say 90% is the designs, because marketing, the business plan is right there. Facebook marketing is pretty straightforward, like when you have good instruction and direction. Um, and that's the last 10%. Like, if they turn the key, if they open the door and come in your store and they're hit with 20 designs that make them laugh, um, also, another print on demand thing. Funny is king. If you can make somebody laugh, you're halfway there to getting them to purchase your thing.
100%.
I'm going to take an aside here because this is something I just realized 2 days ago. I was talking to my wife. I was like, you know what? When somebody wears a funny shirt, any shirt, it could be a band shirt, but I'm going to talk about funny in particular. When somebody wears a funny shirt and somebody laughs at the shirt, the person wearing it takes ownership of the joke as if they just told it themselves.
Yeah.
That's how everyone views them anyways, because they're like, you're wearing that funny shirt, you must be a funny person because I can tell your sense of humor. That makes you feel like a superstar comedian on stage. And who doesn't want to feel like that? If you can make a funny shirt, you can make people feel like that. And they want to feel like that, so you can sell a bunch more shirts like that. So
Yeah.
that's an aside.
It's true.
About your
It's so
question.
true. Everyone wants to be the funny person in their friendship crowd. Like you want to be the not necessarily the class clown, but you want to be the person that's making the jokes that people are laughing at because people want to be around you.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that you could wear a shirt and take ownership of a joke that you would never have thought of or ever said.
But that's the
You might not,
psychology of it.
yeah,
That's what,
you might not even be a funny person, but
yeah.
suddenly it's
Yeah.
brilliant. I love that. So 90-10, I like. Okay, fine. I think I'd agree with that as well. I think I would agree, especially seeing all the designs that I've seen and the ads that I've seen. So I'd say we're kind of coming to the end, but not. We've got a few more questions. So I'd say for anyone that feels stuck, there's a lot of people out there, or unsure about the next step or whether this is right for them at all, what would you tell them?
Let's see. Can you invest in yourself? Can you believe in yourself? Because the business model is there. It's a blueprint. Can you put the pieces together yourself? Do you believe in yourself enough to get it done? If the answer is yes, then you can do it. And I truly think it's as simple as that. There's some caution, of course, like my kids are at daycare 2 days a week, so I have 2 solid days each week to do 8-hour things, and then my wife comes home, and then I get another 4 hours from 8 o'clock to midnight to work on this. And everyone's life situation is different. Life demands certain things out of all of us. If you can look at your situation and think over the next X months, over the next year, can I invest in myself? Can I believe in myself to get it done? Taking all that together, and the answer is yes, then I believe you can do it.
Sweet. I love that. Really motivational, that. Okay, cool. And what would you say to someone on the fence about joining the hub, the Print on Demand hub, or even booking that exact same discovery call that you booked that completely changed your trajectory in this business?
Um, I mean, I rave about the hub. I tell everybody about it. I tell people who are not in print on demand just about the business lessons and business model and Facebook ads that we learn in the hub. Because all the principles work the same no matter what you're selling. This just happens to be laser focused on t-shirts. Yeah, it's 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 like building Legos. If you can build Legos, you can put yourself a Shopify shop together. You can learn the skills. Every single one of us is capable of learning. If this is something that you enjoy, you're going to learn it even quicker. So, yeah. And if you have any other questions, just shout out to Shimmy or take that discovery call and see what kind of answers you get. And I have no doubt that if you've been looking for a path in your t-shirt design journey, that you're going to find one with the hub.
Nice. I like that. I like the Lego analogy as well because I'm a massive Lego fan. And I like that you call it Legos, like plural.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
It's Lego bricks, right?
I think it's an American thing to say Legos as in plural rather than just Lego,
Maybe.
which is funny. It's like fish. The plural of fish is fish.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that in America, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. Phew. Okay, we can still be friends.
We didn't change your language that much, Shimmy.
Well, I don't know. Well, look, this has been really, really awesome. I've really enjoyed it. I love this chat. I want to do more of these chats. Hopefully, everyone wants to see more of your journey. So, I'm gonna ask something. I want to hold you accountable to this. We're gonna do another one of these at some point in the future. But for now, what's the next steps for you personally? So whether that's Portugal and stuff like that, and what are the next steps for your business? What are the next big steps for you? And then in a couple months when we come back, we can see how that played out.
All right. Well, the next steps for me personally are literal steps because I need to get back on this under the desk treadmill. I've taken a couple months off of that, but I need to get back on, especially since it's holiday time. We just ate so many treats and snacks.
Tell me about it.
So get a little bit healthier, go to bed at a better hour because I'm not grinding this out anymore. Like September, hundreds of designs. I'm not grinding them out. But the next step, yeah, a little bit better health. What's going on? But for the next steps for the business, very clear. So obviously, the holiday shopping window for my shop is now basically closed, and I've turned off ads. So I'm gonna miss that cha-ching sound for a couple weeks here, I think. Even though I got a couple in today, and I don't know how they found me. So
yeah, same.
hope your
A ton of
package
everything,
gets there.
but getting a whole bunch of sales today. Even though
Hope your package arrives. I have a notice on my site. Anyways, so I'm taking this expected downtime. I'm ramping up to probably another 30 to 50 designs to launch with 200 to 220, and I'm gonna do probably 50% spins off of winning concepts and 50% original stuff because some of my weird stuff sells really well in this niche, and I really enjoy making it. But also, I've completely built out my email list because I'm preparing for this fall off a cliff of traffic because I came into this hot during the Cyber Week, right? And I'm probably not going to see that traffic if I didn't do anything in January. So I'm doing something. I'm trying to preempt that. I got my email flows going. I got my review requests sending out because in my mind, I had 650 orders in the past couple months. 650 people are about to get my merchandise, wear for a couple weeks, wear around their friends and family, form an opinion. I want to get that opinion because I think they're good. In addition, I've also started a referral program, incentivized referral program, and customer loyalty program, which it's in gaming, so I call them XP, so EXP points.
Love that.
I get to play into that and work on the branding. So doing all of this, I hope I will at least get close to the traffic that I had these past couple weeks based on the reviews coming in. And that'll be all traffic that I didn't have to pay Facebook for. So get those margins up, get the traffic buffered in when Facebook traffic is low, and have a good start to 2025.
Nice. And what about potentially adding hoodies or sweaters or maybe even going international? Is that on your mind?
It's on my mind. I don't have any intention of hoodies and sweaters yet or anything like that. And the reason is, I think, and I might put off international a little bit because I don't even think I've even come close to tapping what I can do in the US market. And it's so simple and clean right now. I don't need to learn about international taxes or any of that nonsense. I barely got to understand United States taxes.
I don't think anyone understands United States taxes.
So no plans to do that yet. It's in the future, but right now I really want to see how big this can grow in the United States first before pushing out.
Nice, cool. Well, look, if I can give any advice, I would say, considering where you've got to, adding some of your winners, like your 10 top sellers, onto hoodies or sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
It takes very little time. You don't really have to think about it much, but you're giving people an option to buy that design in something slightly warmer, especially coming into the winter. We had a lot of success with that when we put our best sellers on hoodies.
Yeah.
And of course, the profit margins on hoodies are far, far better than they are on t-shirts, more than double, because we could sell a hoodie for like 50, $55. So it's definitely something to consider. And then also, there's not really a learning curve. There's no international sales. There's no having to figure out that logistics side of things. It's literally just a case of adding a hoodie to a hoodie section of some of your best designs, and people are just like, "Oh, I'll get this in a t-shirt and a hoodie, or I'll just get this in a hoodie."
That's true. And
Actually.
I got to tell you right now, I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it's 8 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius.
Well, it's 7 here, so it's pretty close.
Okay, so it's a good time for hoodies, and I'm thinking if I did build, I sound like Christopher Walken, and I'm thinking Christopher Walken. I'm thinking that if I did want to bolster the traffic to my site, adding a hoodie collection and dropping in an email campaign for the people who have signed up is a way to go. I could probably kick that off in January because it's going to get crazy cold here pretty soon.
Yeah, you could even
Good idea.
you could send an email out to the people that have bought a specific design, like your bestseller, and say, "We've now got this on hoodie. If you're interested in continuing to wear this in the freezing cold," something like that. But okay, so cool. Well, look, this has been absolutely incredible. To end this, do you have any last pieces or piece of advice for someone who was in your position, 3-4 months ago, where they're just like, they're thinking about it?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the clearest business blueprint in this industry that I've ever seen, and it is reliable and repeatable. And if you believe that you can do it, then I believe that you can do it as well, and I know you can. That's all.
Nice. I love that. I love that sentiment. That was a really, really awesome call, Aaron. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Awesome. Well, we'll speak soon.
For sure.